Good morning, everybody. This is Gleason with MajorLeagueTrading.com. It's February 11th, Monday, 2019 here, and this is a reminder to follow your rules and trade your plan. This morning, I'm not able to load the daily plan worksheet, so let me go over the Forex factory calendar and look at the economic news this week. At 4:30 a.m. last night, GDP, manufacturing, production, preliminary GDP for the Great Britain pound. At 11:15 a.m., FOMC member Bowman will be speaking. And then in the overnight session at 3 a.m., the German President Weidmann will speak at 3 a.m. And tomorrow before the bell, we have Bank of England Governor Carney speaking. For our trade plan worksheet and the indicator code it comes with, back out here. The previous day's low was 26.8075. The high was 27.0775. Value area high was 26.9975 with value area low at 26.85 half. The point of control was 26.8575. European close 26.90 quarter. Overnight high, 26.71 half. Overnight low down here at 2,700 half. Our pivot points, support and resistance levels, R4A, 27.60 quarter, R3, 27.42.75, R2, 27.25 quarter, R1 right here at 27.15. Pivot point for the day, 26.97. 75, S1 26.88.75, S2 26.71 quarter, S3 26.61.75, and S4A 26.52 quarter. Let's move on to these indexes here, guys. We got gap ups in all of them. We're up 10 points in the S&P 500. It's a pretty active overnight session so far. Oil's down 1.3%. Gold's down 8 points here. I want to start off with gold because we came out a really technical halfway back short. On the close of Friday, the 50% retracement from the high of the 31st to low, which we were watching, just sat up there, just like a stone, just didn't move. Market reopened. We had one test higher of that resistance level, and we've been selling off really ever since. So we have technically validated downside profit targets of 1,300. It's possible we hit those this week. So we need to mark and be aware of that 1,300 profit target for the short. Now, on the daily chart for the long, I'm going to go to a daily chart over the course of the last year. I have no support that I'm anticipating till we trade the high of the 26th to high, this October 26th to high. You have a 50 and 38% retracement. The 38% retracement is a first level. I would anticipate any kind of support. Bring this across here. And that is at 1298.6, and below that 1288.6 is the 50% retracement. I'm going to set alerts on both of those levels. As far as a potential entry into the trend, we need to be aware of at every point in time this week where the full halfway back from Friday's high to low is. And that right now is 13.8. So I'm going to set an alert at 13.8. The more aggressive sequence here is there is an extension from the low of 13.14.3 to low. We have traded this once to its profit target. Same anchor new low comes into play. Actually, it's now that I should see a 5-minute chart. Same anchor new low comes into play at 13.10 half. So I'm going to mark that alert at 13.10 half. That's at 38% retracement. And that would bring us down and possibly through Thursday's low. But gold is in aggressive selling pressure, and we need to be aware of those two setups. Moving on to the S&P 500. There was a really nice rally into the close on Friday. And there's a very interesting extension sequence I'm going to show you guys. It basically comes from a 5-minute chart. So the swing low here, too high. We took out the previous swing high, rallied, began a leg start. We took off from there. There was an extension into the close from 26.90 half to high. That's kind of what, like literally in the last 5 minutes, we caught a very aggressive bid and the VIX got crushed. This extension is what held in the overnight session. We've completed our negative 23% profit target. We could go straight up through this, but I don't think we will. This target, I think it's going to be acting as resistance. So what I would look for first thing this morning is a same anchor new high sequence. That brings us down back into 2706. Okay, so 2706 is the 50% retracement. The 38 is 2709.75, but I don't necessarily trust it. And then also on the higher time frame, go to an hourly chart. We have technically broke the full halfway back short. We have traded above that 61.8 here in the overnight session. And because we traded above that 61.8, the full halfway back long is valid as well. So that level is something that needs to be respected moving forward. It's 27.01. And that's the full halfway back long from Friday's low. On the higher time frame, as far as what we held as support, the swing low from the 28th of January too high, traded a 50% retracement in a front run of basically a point. It was 3 ticks. The low was 26.80.75. The halfway back was 26.80. That is where we could say the support came in to measure our potential upside profit targets. Now, if that's going to complete its negative 23% profit target, is 27.65. It's 27.65. Okay, so be aware of that target. That's where we would consider the profit target complete from this pullback. Now, they were really, really interesting pullbacks, and I wouldn't say it was the most technical pullback, but when you know, there's always multiple levels you can rally from. And in this case, I had drawn up a few. You have to wait for and see the reaction. And obviously that was the reaction. And then once you get the reaction, you want to look for the confirmation of the break of the 61.8 as a confirmation, and that's what we got here. So by breaking above 27.15, we confirmed upside profit targets and are basically now looking for pullbacks to get into the trend. For the Russell was really the most technical point of rally in my opinion, because the Russell, we had this halfway back from Wednesday, the 23rd of January to high, and then that low too high was marked before it traded with this green box. And I was long the Russell on Friday, and a couple people had asked me why I got long it, or this is it, this is that move. And you can see the First time we traded on Thursday, there was a great reaction. And then the second time, it was even better. We traded it a lot more accurately and ripped down higher. Now, if you go to the tick time frame, so I'm gonna go to like a 512 tick time frame. To determine, might have to go lower than that. There's not a lot of volume here. I'm gonna go to like a 233. I always like to look at the first move coming out of low. So the extension, I believe, is 1498.5 to high. And that is what we rallied from here in the Russell. That is what we rallied from here in the Russell. We have, the one thing you want to watch is, even though we've broken these 61.8s in the after hours, I want to see them break and get above in the regular trading hour. So I want to see a break and get above that level once we open. Otherwise, first level I'm really going to look at here in the Russell is down at 1507. Okay, 1507 is going to be the first level I'll look at here this morning in the Russell. Moving on to oil, which has just made a new low. I have no support in oil that I really want to pay attention to until 51.16. Actually, that. There is also a level at 51.38. So the extension from the high of the 26th of December to high will trade its 50% retracement at 51.38. So that's actually a major level I would trade today, possibly. And it's also a retest of the lows of the 28th of January. We had a halfway back short with the downside target of 51.21 as well. So in between the support level at 51.38 and the completion of the short at 51.21, I would expect the market to find some footing. So that is the zone I'll be paying attention to very closely here. And then from there, we'd look for that next short from the high of Friday. But oil getting aggressively sold here again. And oil's been a great trading market to the downside over the last few days. We'll see if this major support level can hold it up. 51.38. For the NASDAQ broke above at 61.8. We opened right at the halfway back short. The Sunday night open, traded into the halfway back short, 69.39. We sold off 40 points. It was a great entry for anyone who got it. But now we've broken above, that 61.8, and technically that is now invalid. As far as a support level on the higher time frame that the NASDAQ came off of, I have this extension from the high of the 9th of January to high. Is the only thing I can line up. And coming out of lows, I want to pay attention to really the first. This is the stuff that's kind of hard to see. So you have this halfway back long trade, and then we went into an extension, completed profit targets. Same Yankee high technically broke here, so the only thing I'd really be interested here in the NASDAQ is a full halfway back long, which brings us down to 69.05. Full halfway back long in the NASDAQ's the only thing I'm interested in. For the Dow, the swing low from the 28th to high is really the higher time frame level I was looking at on Friday. It was front run, however, and it was front run by like 16 ticks. It's really aggressive. Coming out of that low, we have technically broken our 61.8 short, so I will look for the full halfway back long. Bulls need to hold this. So basically we've had a short covering rally in the overnight session in these indexes. We've broken the opposing 61.8s. I don't think we have enough steam to just continue straight up here. I think it's more than likely we get a pullback into the support levels from the overnight sessions of the full 50% retracement before turning around. So off the open, we're going to have to see what the indexes are doing, but I'm expecting a pullback into these levels that I have drawn up here. And for gold and oil, I believe they're going to continue down to their profit targets. And oil does have a major support level coming in at 51.38 that I'm going to be wanting to pay attention to. But that's going to wrap up my money trade plan, what I want to do. I'll keep you guys annotated with my notes during the MLT Power Hour. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below. Make sure to come into the MLT Power Hour if you're part of the major trading community. And for those of you guys who are serious about learning how to trade, you can check out any of our courses where you can learn my style of trading, specifically in the Fibonacci course. But anyone who's ready to have a good week, I'll be here all week, guys. So take care. Happy Valentine's Day this week. And I'll see you guys in the MLT Power Hour.